everyone. I want to welcome you to another edition of the Agents of Inclusion podcast. My name is JR of the JRSportBrief show on CBS Sports Radio. We want to inspire change and inclusion in as many communities as possible. And every Wednesday, we're highlighting a different Special Olympics athlete and ambassador, people who are making their own communities and in turn the world a better place. And for today's episode, we're heading to Maryland. We're going to chat it up with Justin Hunsinger. He's not only an athlete hooked on fitness and basketball, Justin works with Special Olympics as a health operations coordinator. We're going to find out what got him into fitness, why health is so important for everyone, especially Special Olympics athletes, and what's next for him to accomplish. Let's go ahead and get started with Justin. So for another edition of the Agents of Inclusion podcast, we have another great guest joining us. It's Justin Hunsinger out of Maryland, Special Olympics athlete, health operations coordinator. He works for Special Olympics. He's all about health. He's all about basketball, which means he's my new best friend. Justin, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. It's great to be on the podcast with you.
No doubt about it. So explain to us what you currently do for Special Olympics as it relates to health.
So right now, I got for the next year, I'm going to be doing presentations through SOMD there's like 36 medical schools and like hospitals that my contact through SOMD wants to get me on board with presenting in front of all of the students, because the truth is that my best work is often through like giving presentations, because I feel like I can really reach the med school students in terms of inclusive health. And I think that the more clinical directors and doctors ever get on board with the movement, it's just life-changing.
Absolutely. And for everyone listening, when you reference SOMD, you're speaking about Special Olympics Maryland.
Yes.
So you're going out to different schools and colleges and speaking to people about inclusive health. What is inclusive health for anyone who's not familiar?
So inclusive health is an example of inclusive health is if a doctor is seeing a patient with intellectual disabilities and the patient's a little shy, but the doctor uses like an iPad or notepad to have a written or typed conversation, like a Q&A with the patients. What that does is it builds the trust and the chemistry and the social connection with your patient, which is ultimately what inclusion it comes when it comes to the play through like the doctor and the patient's like actions.
I can dig it. My understanding is, and I think a lot of us experience this, nobody loves going to the doctor. Nobody wants to go and have a checkup. And everybody has their own needs, and everybody's different. An examination for one person might not be the same for anyone. And it really doesn't matter if you're a Special Olympics athlete or not. But I think it's understanding, or having doctors understand, that everyone is different, and that especially people who have an intellectual disability, they don't necessarily always get the same care. Is that true, would you say?
Yeah, I would highly agree with you on that.
Okay.
That's actually a very, very strong point that you make. And a lot of patients with ID, when that for those that need surgeries, there's like a lot of sensory challenges for many patients with intellectual disabilities. Many can't have the lights on, and some can't have the lights off. There's like those sensory personal preferences that they need the doctors and surgeons to be respectful of. Some can't have the door open or closed, so it's like a sensory. It triggers the brain. So a lot of patients with intellectual disabilities, they like have some anxiety when they go in. So it's important for the patient and the doctor to communicate that.
I hear you. I think it's important for anyone who works in healthcare, anyone who works in fitness. You can go to learn.specialolympics.org to have a better understanding of how you can be inclusive with your health practices. Let's go back a little bit, Justin. That's the work that you're doing now, helping to promote an inclusive health in Maryland for Special Olympics. What got you involved with Special Olympics? Did someone introduce it to you? Did you find out about it? What happened?
So, I used to do Special Olympics basketball when I was a freshman in high school, but then I transferred from Churchill from the Learning Center in Gaithersburg. I transferred to Churchill High School where I was like the main manager for the Churchill basketball team in 2011. And I'm currently in position. I'm gonna apply for an assistant coaching job for Winston Churchill High School Potomac Maryland Varsity Boys basketball. I had a conversation with the head coach a week ago, and he said I'm in the front runner of his mind, in his mind for thinking about hiring. So but like Special Olympics, back to Special Olympics, after college, it was like 2014, and I was doing this internship through the Montgomery County government, and one of my best friends today, who I met through that internship, told me all about Special Olympics and the different programs, and I immediately jumped on board with the movement. And I have to say, it's been a life-changing experience because the friends I've made along the way, the people I've met, have really had a huge emotional impact on my heart. And I love Special Olympics with a burning passion, and I see a lot of positive change going on in around the globe, around the U.S. and in Maryland and everywhere, because the work we do at Special Olympics is starting to really turn the perceptions of people without intellectual disabilities. We're bringing both the disability and non-disability community to one community, all one people, one family. And that's ultimately what my goal has been since I've gotten involved.
Inclusivity, man. I appreciate that, Justin. And we're going to talk more basketball because I know you're a basketball nut like I am. What other sports have you participated in?
Softball and soccer and golf.
I heard that you won a silver medal.
It was the top level of traditional soccer. The experience was like a thrill ride. When the Florida traditional team varsity, they're like top traditional team. They were the best team we've ever played in our entire lives. They were younger than us, and like their speed was unbelievable. This Florida team has never lost a game until we took one from them. This team plays against colleges, community colleges around Florida, and has never lost to a college team
until they saw y'all.
Until they saw us. I scored one of the goals in a 2-1 victory against them.
Wow, that's.
And I think I'm like our team. All 3 games in that series was either 0-0 at halftime or 1-0 at halftime.
Is that your favorite memory or experience being a Special Olympics athlete? Is that the big thing that stands out to you?
I mean, that's one of the biggest things that stands out to me. USA Games, like that's one of the biggest events out of all of Special Olympics. And more, but aside from the sports, I mean, I love playing love being the sports, and I think through sports we can unify entire countries and the United States as one nation and everything. Sports is a really good example of unifying people. Um, and but the social aspect of USA games is the best part. I love being on that soccer or basketball court and softball field, but the more important piece is social aspects and the culture of it.
What have you seen with the social aspect from yourself, from your friends, from your peers, just to be around folks? We were all basically isolated for 2 years through the pandemic, some longer than that. How important is it to go out and be social?
It's more important now, more important than it ever used to be, because due to the isolation from the pandemic, now that things are opening up, everyone's starting to reconnect with their friends and family. I've seen, and actually, if you think about it, in a spiritual perspective, God brought this pandemic gave us an opportunity to really come together and and acknowledge the importance of not judging people by their disability or whatever, and coming together as a people. Like every country on this planet heavily relies on each other, and because of the pandemic, it allows us to connect with ourselves, like as people, and think about what we value most in life, like our life, like the values, our top 5 values, like strengths, and it allows us to connect with others through the things we value, and that's something that kind of was lost there for a while. And as a planet, not just a country, but like as a planet, we're starting to really make a lot of positive changes with that.
From being a little boy, what got you or who got you interested in sports? Was it a family member? Did somebody play basketball? Did they have it on? What got you so into sports?
I think my dad taught me took me on the basketball court one day at 5 years old. That was the first time I touched the ball, and I immediately fell in love with it. How then, as I grew, I really started at from high school. Starting in high school, I started really training on my own. I started teaching my Coach Paul Fonger of QO High School and Coach Matt Miller, who was my coach. They taught me a great deal about being battle tested in basketball, and they gave me like a list of ball handling drills, like very like top notch drills. They gave me a whole history of the game of basketball, including very hot, which over the years now, I've learned secrets of the game of basketball that that a lot of people probably don't know about, particularly the 1966 Texas Western Miners, who I've been studying their history of that team for the last probably 12 or more years.
You've been you've been a big advocate from not just taking this information that you've learned, but sharing it with other people. I've seen some of your training videos on YouTube, providing tips for other people just to stay in shape and be healthy. Why is this important for you to share just health tips with other people, especially Special Olympics athletes?
I think it's really important to share health and nutrition and fitness tips with all the athletes, not just in the US, everywhere. These tips are shared globally for every country to see. And the fitness, my grandfather lived to 96. I have a personal connection to fitness and nutrition, like an attachment. I'm attached. I'm hooked on it. My grandfather would walk on the treadmill for 20 25 minutes every day until his last day of life. And because what it does, as you get to that senior citizenship, fitness becomes even more important because it keeps the heart going longer than it would. You live a lot longer life expectancy. The more intense the workouts, the longer you're gonna live. If you and you got it, but in nutrition, you got it like protein smoothies with like put a lot of fruit, maybe some whey protein powder, and like sparkling water and unsweetened iced tea with lemon. Those are the three healthiest things to drink in the world, in my opinion. So, that's what I've really gotten into those three drinks now. My grandfather inspired me to inflict change and to help strengthen the health and fitness levels of our athletes.
Well, you're doing an amazing job with that as well. My understanding is it's not just the water, etc. You and your mom have taken time to cook and get meals together. So what type of food do you guys prepare?
So I've really gotten into the pescatarian diet. I actually recently, the last couple of weeks, started eating vegan lunches. Like, those like the ones that come like those like rectangular like boxes. It's like has like 20 grams of protein or so, and it's all vegan. So actually, I got some vegan tips for people. So if for those that really love vegetables like seafood, that will increase your lifespan by years and years and years. You probably live to over 100 if you consistently do that your whole life. If you like workouts and vegan, vegan food is the healthiest food on the planet, to be quite honest. So for those that feel that they have the ability to go full vegan, highly encourage getting into that now. For those that can go do like seafood or like crustaceans and vegetables, highly suggest that. Those are the two healthiest types of foods on the planet. And that honestly, that's what I do. And I'm feeling the best I've ever felt in my head, in my mind, body, and spirit that I ever have been in my life.
I'm gonna aspire to get to your level. I eat relatively clean, a lot of fruits and vegetables. Every now and then I'll have some beef, I have some poultry. I got some work to do to get to those type of levels, Justin.
Every once in a while I'll have some like beef and pork, but so I'm not perfect by any means. But if you do more fruits, vegetables, and seafood, for the most part, gonna be perfectly fine.
I hear that. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get there. Well, let me ask you about some basketball real quick, man.
Oh, cool.
We're pulling up on March Madness, and the tournament is getting ready to start. How you feeling about the tournament, man?
I think it's gonna be one of the most. There's no super team. It's so interesting because Marquette in the Big East, they are playing on a level like the Kansas and the Texas teams. I mean, I honestly think the championship game is gonna be Marquette and Kansas, or my other matchup. I really think Marquette is gonna stun everyone.
Okay,
because there's the 3-point shooting percentage through the roof. So and I mean I really think Marquette's gonna win it all because over Kansas or Texas. Texas just beat Kansas at the end of the season in a dominating fashion. My goodness. So I honestly think my championship picks are Marquette and Texas right now, because
Okay.
Texas has the upper hand over Kansas right now.
Being out in Maryland, you're a big Terps fan. Tell me about the future of both the men's and the lady Terps.
So the future is so bright. I mean, for the men's and lady Terps basketball teams, the men's team has a top 10 recruiting class coming in next year. Deshaun Harris-Smith could very well be the next Lenny Byers of his time. Grant, we don't know that yet, but by his junior year, that's when I think we're gonna know a lot more about that comparison. I mean, I watched this guy on the NFHS network. I watched my school a lot, but I've seen some great highlight reels on the ESPN of this guy. He is a straight up PT peer. I mean, my goodness, this guy can ball.
So we're gonna see. We're gonna go back.
He's gonna light the Big Ten to Chinatown next year.
So we're gonna get back to I don't know, Steve Blake, Juan Dixon era Maryland Terrapins.
It's coming. It's coming very soon.
Tell me about the Lady Terps.
The Lady Terps, they are unreal. Like they're just so good, and the future is gonna be incredible. I know that Christy Tolliver, her dream job is coaching the Lady Terps one day. I know that, and I know that the relationship with Brenda Fries and Chris Tolliver is really, really special. And I can't think of anyone other than Chrissy Tolliver that would be perfect for the job for when Brenda Fries decides to make that happen. I mean, Brenda Fries is one of the greatest coaches I've ever seen in the NCAA women's basketball history. Really, one of the best in men's and women's basketball. It's just incredible.
Talk a little bit about your own coaching aspirations. You've gone from being a manager at your school. Now you're up for coaching jobs. How important is it to you to be a coach?
It is incredibly important to me. I've been watching Churchill basketball for years. Ever since I graduated. This year's team, I thought the boys team was going to win states, but next year I see it. We got a lot of players coming back. We're gonna have, and then we got players like freshmen and sophomores that, I mean, I'll tell you this. I don't know if he's a freshman or sophomore, but this guy came in to some games this year and just was knocking down threes. I mean, my goodness. The best three-point shooter on the team, I think it's number 23 for Churchill. He has the most beautiful shot. I mean, he's definitely a D1 recruit.
Well, tell me about you. I want to know why coaching is important to you as a coach.
Because I want to develop players I want to help players become superstars. But more important, I take a Ken Carter Richmond approach. That's what I value. I don't just want to coach players. I want to coach men. I want to give them the tools and the skill, academic and life skills. But I want to coach these boys and help them become really good, respectful, honorable people in the society long after they graduate. And I feel like I have a lot of wisdom. I feel like I can do a great job with that. In terms of the basketball aspect, my goal every year, win that state championship. And my playbook, I have a complete playbook drawn up in full detail. And let me tell you, Ruden's going down hard next year. I'm not even kidding, man. My playbook, I highly recommend we use it. That no one in the state of Maryland is ready for this.
Well, let me ask you about the professional side. We've seen some teams go through some ups and downs. We got Celtics. There's the Bucks. The New York Knicks have been pretty good. What do you think we look like heading into the NBA playoffs?
And I think Stephen A. Smith would agree with this. The Knicks are like one of the really top teams in the West right now. Um, I think it could be like Boston and the Knicks. What a very realistic, realistic championship pick. Um, for me, I think I'm waiting to see which one of those two teams. Like I think the Mavericks have a lot to prove.
Oh yeah,
They're really good and they're coming on strong.
with Kyrie and
But
Luke.
I think what I want to see, because a friend of mine is Christy Tolliver is a friend of mine, and I care a lot about. She's an amazing human being and an incredible basketball coach. I wanted to coach the Lady Torps out whenever Brenda Freeze decides that. Um, but like the Knicks would probably be the team I go with for the NBA Finals.
Wow.
But they have a little bit more to prove to me though.
It's been 1973, the last championship. I think
I know it's been
Knicks.
it's been decades. It's been like 7 decades or more. But I tell you, I like the shooting, the top. I love the point guard for the Knicks. I think he's a bad man. I'm gonna say Stephen Smith language. He's a bad man.
It's Jalen Brunson. He is most
definitely.
definitely.
He's a superstar. He's amazing. And I want to see what I want to see from him is more like he's really good with scoring. I want to see him get stacked up on the assist, because we need him to keep shooting, but like I want him to step it up a little bit more defensively.
Yeah,
I want to see the Knicks play more. I want to see the Knicks step it up on the defensive end. I want to see them get out and transition more, like transition offense more.
Okay, I hear that. So let me ask you this, Justin: when you're not watching hoops, what are some of your other hobbies besides basketball and fitness and health? What, you a movie guy? You a music guy? What else are you doing?
So right now, I just talked to my cousin who is going to produce music with me this year. Actually, tonight I'm sending him a demo. I'm a piano player, singer, songwriter. That's pretty exciting. I love hiking and camping when I can. I love to travel.
Favorite places that you've been? Any favorite place?
The Greek island, Santorini.
Oh, Santorini, Greece.
Beautiful island, my goodness.
Any place that you want to go that you haven't seen so far?
I would love to see. I want to go to Jamaica. I've never been. Okay. I would love to go see like China. I want to explore. I want to see the Jinji Temple, the Jinjar Temple, because that's where the legend of the Yin warrior originates. That's like the Milan eras, from Milan and all that. Mm-hmm. The actual person is based off of. But I just want to travel. There's so many places I want to travel. Hawaii is amongst the top of my list because I love the islands. I love the culture. When I travel to other countries, I love learning about the culture of those countries and the traditions and what they do and their social customs and everything.
Justin, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I like going to other places. I like to eat.
I love to eat.
And I know we try to stay healthy. We want to be healthy. Is there a favorite food that you like? A particular cuisine? Is it Italian, Chinese, Japanese, American? Is there
Coastal Flats and Bonefish Grill? Both are seafood grills, but I eat a lot of fish. Like my favorite fish to eat is rainbow trout.
Okay.
I like trout. It's just I love that too. I mean, there's not a fish in the world that I won't eat, and that I don't. I just love fish all the way around.
I appreciate the fact that you're really living the healthy lifestyle. What message would you give to folks who aren't involved? Someone who's never been to a Special Olympics game, advice. What would you tell them about potentially volunteering? What could they learn?
I think if they go, I highly encourage to get out in the community, sit down with like a Special Olympics athlete for just 10, 15 minutes, and they'll become your best friend for the rest of your life. And they will change your life in so many positive outcomes. It's just incredible. When you let them tell the athlete share their life story, what they've gone through, the good, the bad, the amazing. It is just incredible what you learn about them. It blows me away. The stories I've heard from these athletes, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's incredible. So that my message is for people that haven't been involved, just if you have family or friends with, or if you come across, go to a school that is for people with intellectual disabilities, go Unified Champion School. That I'm sure there's plenty in where people live. Go to one of those Unified Champion Schools and just sit with an athlete with intellectual disabilities for 15 minutes, and they will change you forever, man.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing to talk to. It's a beautiful thing to talk to them and learn about them.
Yep. Unified Champion Schools are schools that allow people with and without intellectual disabilities to do something real simple, and that's play sports. This is kind of my last question to you, and you touched on it a little bit. How has sports changed your life specifically?
Sports has changed my life forever, in the sense that I've gained a second family through the sports teams I've been on. All my friends, my best friends in the world, a lot of my best friends I've met on my sports teams. They're some of the best guys and women I've ever known. They're so supportive of me, and they appreciate me, and I appreciate them, and we support each other. It's like a village. I've always been a believer. It takes a village, and Special Olympics has given me and has given my family another village.
I love it, Justin. And I want to encourage everyone to go to specialolympics.org, and they can find out where their local program is. They can volunteer, they can show up, they can learn more. And I want to give you a lot of props for encouraging and helping people just to live a healthy lifestyle. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. So a lot of props and much love to you, my man. Let's see if your basketball picks hold up, okay?
Thank you. And lots of love and positive vibes sending your way, man.
So many thanks and appreciation to Justin for dropping so much knowledge on the importance of health and fitness for everyone. I need to start working on my diet today. Also, so much of the Special Olympics work and inclusive health is made possible by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Golisano Foundation. Thank you very much. You listening, you can make a difference to be more inclusive by going to specialolympics.org and finding your local program. You can volunteer or just stop by a local event to see how great it is. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Agents of Inclusion, and come back every Wednesday for a new episode. I'm JR. We'll catch you next week. Go outside and try to be inclusive.